what do you come up with? If you say you can't change God's mind, if you say you can change God's mind, then Christianity has a footing because we messed up and God changed his mind and said, I'd actually rather a different religion. Okay. And a different nation being my representatives on earth. However, if you say God can't change his mind, then you're going to come up with some answers like, well, he just doesn't care.
No, doesn't matter. There's no connection.
What doesn't care about?
Why would
He doesn't care about us. When I'm suffering, he doesn't care. He doesn't change his mind.
No, that's rubbish.
Okay. And you can say maybe he doesn't know what's happening.
Just because someone doesn't change their mind doesn't mean they're meat. They're a tyrant. It means that they know something you don't. Don't know anything.
I know.
What in your extra year of life that I don't have?
Yeah.
What
A lot of experience.
So one is he just doesn't care. Maybe he's merciless. Maybe he doesn't know what's going on. You could say that. You can disagree with that, but you could say that. If God doesn't change his mind, then you could come up with these answers. Like, well, he just doesn't know.
Connection to that.
Why?
Because just because doesn't change his mind doesn't mean he's merciless.
Well, if someone's suffering and you damn him, he doesn't change his mind, then.
And it'll be okay.
If it's meant to be.
Like, I think you can change his mind, but if something is set in stone.
Okay, so what happened? What did you guys? Who brought in Moshe Rabbeinu changing God's mind? You were. Okay, so it's clearly, if you perceive it, it does seem that God changes his mind. We need to understand what it means that God changes our mind. How does Tefillah change God's mind? Does it change God's mind?
Maybe on a personal level, God changes his mind, but on a wider national level, then each individual action is a small part of it. So it's a whole picture rather than just one person.
Okay, but at the end of the day, if you do say God changed his mind on a small level, then you still come back to this. You're still basically saying God.
No, on like an individual level.
So that still means.
It doesn't mean no.
That still means God isn't perfect.
It doesn't mean God because Jewish people is a nation, so that means God wouldn't forget.
Yeah, fair. But your point was Islam. You said your father's friend, acquaintance, Islam.
Yeah, Islam.
Israel.
Hashem changed his mind.
Yeah.
Hashem is actually a Muslim name.
Yeah, it's possible, to be honest.
Okay? Hashem changed his mind, okay? Again, why? According to Islam, because the people misunderstood God's teaching, so you need the better people who can finally understand God's teaching. Okay. All right, in any case, we need to understand, because you are right, it's perceived to us that God does change his mind, and we understand what it means that God changes his mind.
He has mercy.
But that's still changing his mind.
No, it's not.
It is.
It means that
he thought one thing and then he did something else.
No, he thought one thing to create the opposite reaction, so that he could evaluate what to do next.
When a judge is sitting there, right, and he's going in and saying, "No, this guy's guilty," and then he's going to get 10 years, and then he's about to hit the hammer to say the court's adjourned. And then suddenly the person who's been judged screams out in agony, saying, "But what?" And then he changes his mind. That's
no
mercy.
mercy in that, though. God is a mercy. He's a merciful God. Humans, you can't use a muscle of a human to describe.
Well, we know we can because that's the Torah all the time does.
Maybe not in this situation.
We say Yad Chazakah, God shortened our hand, right?
Okay.
We'll see now. Okay, we'll see this piece. I'm going to take off my mask. If you could just move back, and then maybe it'll be, I think, easier for Nathan to actually understand me if I don't have a mask on. Hi, Nathan.
I can hear you fine anyway, but yeah.
All right, so I thought I could get an excuse. All right, you got rid of my excuse to stop breathing again. All right, you guys go ahead.
Sorry, Rob, I can barely hear you. Barely hear you, Rob.
Okay, when we were taught in kindergarten to daven, right? You may not have done that tune, but Okay, if you want. Okay. We were told to daven for what reason? Okay, so you know what happens when I sing, right? Rav Asher gives a shiur, he plays guitar. I don't know if you ever uploaded videos onto YouTube.
No.
They scan it, and if it's got a song in it, you can't monetize that video. It's every time Rav Asher sings a song, at the start of the shiur, he gets the guitar and plays a song. It recognizes that as a song, and it's like copyright issues, even though he's just singing. Because yeah, he's singing himself. It's that clever. Even though he's maybe not always hitting the right notes on the guitar, it's still like a problem. Well, it's just very crazy the technology we have today. All right. So, Havu Godel Eloheinu. Shelat Shinui Ha'otzot B'Tefillah Hi B'chinat Shoresh Ha'emunah V'Shoresh Hameri. This is from the Kuzari. The question of changing our desire in Tefillah and God's desire is a root of faith and a root of heresy. If you get this question wrong, or don't understand the question and answer correctly, you can turn out to be a heretic or to rebel against God. Okay, you need to understand what it means. How does davening work? How does davening work? What does it mean? What am I trying to achieve by davening? Okay,
It could be like a selfish thing.
Right.
It could be just you doing it because you there's something wrong and you just want to be given like the path.
Right. I don't remember ever being told ever that davening was to change what I believe. Rather, it's to change God's. Let's ask for things. Right. That's how we all. I know.
Doesn't mean it changes his mind.
If I'm asking for my grandfather's refuah, and I believe my tefillah is what does it. No, he's dead. Is what does it. Then I obviously believe my tefillah is changing his mind. No. I believe that I'm davening so my grandfather will be better. If I don't daven, will it become better? Less likely, because I think my tefillah does something. Right? Okay. So, it can, however, make me a heretic, because if I'm not answered, what's going to happen? God's not listening. He's merciless. He doesn't care, right? Whereas this is like, has different...
That's when Emunah comes in.
Right, fair. So, whereas this has big theological problems with regards to other religions maybe being right, this has personal problems, philosophical, because it turns me into heretic and demanding of God. And if I'm not happy with it, then, you know.
But that's why you need to trust that you make a decision even if you didn't listen.
So we need to understand what tefillah does.
This is what's right for you.
Okay, at the end of the day, we're going to say that change isn't the right word here. Something else happens. There's no change, and maybe it's not his mind. It's maybe not change, and it's maybe not his mind.
It's yours.
Oh, yeah, fair. We need to change in tefillah. That's the basic crux of things. When we go in and say, Rafeinu Hashem v'nei Rafeh, I can't remember if it's didn't say the exact. Okay, we are connecting to what? The importance of refuah for Am Yisrael. Once we have brought ourselves and internalized in our own lives the importance of kibbutz galot in gathering and exiles, the importance of returning judges, the Sanhedrin, the importance of Tchiat HaMetim, then the more and more Jews who are qualitatively and inside recognizing the importance of these ideas, because the men of the Great Assembly decided they were the 19 things we damn for, then we'll be individually deserving, eventually the whole nation. Why did I say 19 and not 18? One was added. V'lam al shinim, the prayer against the heretics, Jewish heretics, which are Karaites, or the Stukim, or the Christians at the beginning who are Jews. Today it doesn't refer to the Christians because the Christians aren't Jews. It would refer to Jews for Jesus and Christian.
Yeah, I've met one of those Jesus by a station. He was like, "You told me that I was ignorant for not researching Christianity."
Fair enough.
Well, you can't argue with me because you're ignorant. I was like, "You're also, mate. You came from a non-religious Jewish family or whatever." I just think it's ignorant. I used to. I was with my friend. He hang out leaflets of Jews museum, and he said, "Oh, this is amazing! I want to hand it out to like all my friends." He gave him a big hug, and he just ripped them up and threw it in the bin.
That's kind of.
Okay. I do not support vandalism. Okay. התמודדות עם מסוגל להעמיק, לעדן ולרומם את ציורי האמונה שלנו. It can, but when we deal with this question, we're not going to run away from this question. Very often, in many worlds, yeshivot, normally those where the Talmudim were in black and white, hint, hint, they run away from philosophical questions. Because sometimes when you ask philosophical questions, the answers can sometimes be very confusing and turn people off. But very often, if you don't have the questions answered, you're never going to get anywhere either. And you're going to be robotic and daven, not know why you're davening. We, in the religious Zionist world, in Mechinot, in Yeshivot, asking questions is encouraged if it's asking for the right reason. That's the difference between the Rasha and the Tzaddik, right? In the Seder night. The Rasha is asking in an attacking manner. The question of the Rasha and the Tzaddik, the Chacham, sorry. Rasha and Chacham, it's almost the same question. The difference is the Rasha is coming to attack, whereas the Chacham is coming to understand, for those understanding.
And the simple doesn't need to ask it, he's just in the clouds.
All right. We can turn our tefillah into something else. However, if you get the wrong answer, if you push away the involvement in with this question, or you deal with it but in an incorrect way, or in a very surface way, or you refer to the Hamona'am. What's Hamon? A lot. Hamonim.
No one is really saying boina. They say boina.
Bona.
What does that mean?
Bo hena.
Counts as means come in.
Bo hena.
Bona is like
Bona.
But is it boina?
they just means like bona, you know? Like someone says something.
It's like
Bona, like bona, you know.
Okay. Hamonim is what? It means lots, but it comes from the word. It means lots of people. The simple approach of people. The Hamonim, like the Amaret's way of approaching. If you ask someone on the street, what's tefillah for? Any religion, what are they going to say normally?
to connect to God.
To ask for things. No, come on. Most people are going to say to ask for things. It's your chance to speak to God and ask for things. No, isn't that the approach?
Before you ask, you have to say thanks.
But that's the Jewish approach as well. I don't know what Christianity and Islam do, and other religions. I'm not aware.
They a lot of, I think Islam is more about like
Praising God,
like
that's it.
praising, yeah,
And not
just
asking
saying
anything.
how exalted He is. It's like if you listen to the first prayer they do, it's all about saying God is the greatest, the
Al-Akbar,
exalted
right?
Lord
Right.
sitting on His throne.
El Kabir, Al Akbar.
Which is good, no?
That's good. It just is a problem because then they're not discussing about what the Ummah wants, right? The Muslim nation. Okay, but if we deal with it on a very straightforward surface level, base level, we're gonna, instead of raising up tefillah, it's gonna remain as something which is very shallow. I want what I want. I may be praising God at the beginning, but at the end of the day, I'm not coming here for praising. I'm coming here to get the job done. I want my parnasa, perich aleinu, which is all about parnasa, getting rain, and parnasa. What? No. There's no reason not to daven longer when your wife isn't expecting. And I see this a lot when, I'm not taking records of how long people are davening, but you can be around people and notice they sometimes take a normal amount of time, and then sometimes they take ages, and then you find out his wife's expecting, and then you realize, this is why. And that's fine. What? He's davening more because he's in anguish. He wants the wife not to pass away. He wants the wife everyone to be healthy. He wants okay? It's okay to daven more when you need something, but you need to understand how you get what you want isn't through changing God's mind, and you shouldn't just be davening longer when you're in. It does help. We'll see why. Okay? If you go back to Rafa'inu, if your wife being in, we'll go with a family member who's got a terrible illness, Chas v'shalom. Reuven's father has almost a terminal disease, and Reuven's davening very, very, very hard. If through his father being sick is going to help him understand more, even more than normal, the importance of health within Am Yisrael, more to it, more to him. But if it's just, oh, my father's sick, I need to get him better, please help me, then that's not the right approach. The right approach should be, my father is sick. I now understand even more how bad it is for Jews to be sick, and therefore I'm going to daven even more now, not just for my father, for everyone. Okay?
Does that change the outcome?
Yes. Because you've changed yourself. That's how you change outcome, by changing yourself. That's all it's about. If you now, I can say this. I often don't finish tefillah feeling different, but the point of tefillah is, which is why if you don't understand Hebrew, it's important to daven at least with the English translation next to it, so you can know what you're saying. If you are literally don't understand a word you're saying and know what tefillah is doing, God's going to be saying at least He wants to speak to me, but He's not achieving what it should be, which is changing yourself. Tefillah is to change yourself, to make you into a different person. Just like a mitzvah to change you. This is one of the mitzvah, and it's a way for you to connect to God. It's your chance to walk into the Beit HaMikdash, spiritual Beit HaMikdash, and face your King and praise Him, like we said, beginning to praise. And then saying, King, this morning I came to your palace, and I was like this, but now I'm coming to your palace, and I'm different. Now I've changed. I said I wouldn't speak Lashon Hara this morning. I asked for your forgiveness saying Lashon Hara, and look, since Shachrit, where I said I'm going to speak Lashon Hara, and I really meant it, now I mean it even more, and I actually improved. I've changed myself. I've internalized the changes I need to make. Okay?
So it's not just like wishy-washy.
It's not wishy-washy.
Like you have to actually put it into your schedule, put effort and change it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's easy. It's difficult, but that's what it's supposed to be. Okay?
And if you fail, if you try hard but you fail,
then
try again.
If someone converts, okay, and at the point he went into the mikvah, he meant it, and the next day he's eating pork, we don't uproot his conversion. Why? Because he had the right intentions at that point. You can't say, oh, he's eating a pork, a day later he wasn't genuine, he meant nothing, he was kidding us. If we had a brain detector, a mind reader there at the time, we can say we would do that. But we trust, but there's no way of disproving someone's intentions when he goes into the mikvah. Okay? Maybe if the night before he was going out partying, that's something else. But also, in general, we don't uproot. There's a whole case of a Jewish convert who's now become a born-again Christian. Meaning she converted into Judaism, and now she's become Christian. And she owns a bakery in Ashdod, Ashkelon, and they approved it. The rabbinate approved it her conversion, and now the kids are halachically non-Jewish. And there's huge ruckus about it because we don't normally do that. So saying to you, if you had the intention when you made the tefillah to change, and you failed, God's forgiving. If you intentionally didn't mean it, I'll do tefillah because Mechina wants me to daven, or I'm in a society where I'm looked down on if I don't daven, and I don't really mean it, and I may not even be saying the words, and obviously that's shtur, and maybe it's better than not doing anything.
It's also good to be consistent. No?
Yeah, it's consistent, and we say this is an important thing to know. You probably know this expression.
Never heard of it.
When you do it not for the right reason, eventually the right reason will come. If you are learning Torah,
To fake it to make it.
right, you have to fake it to make. And the Jews don't believe that, okay? You need to make it habitual, but habitual with the right reasons, okay? Tefillah, kama meguchechet hi lefi havana hamonit. Says Rav Kook, this is a quote from Rav Kook, before that, this one Rav Kook. Tefillah is, you make a mockery of tefillah if you think tefillah is like how the multitudes, the people on the street understand it. Mitpalel adam el Elohim adir ala kol, hu poel etzo et hamevukash shelo. You come with your shopping list, you walk into tefillah, I've got a shopping list, and you leave it with what you need. That's how it's perceived. God is kol yachol, He's all powerful. You come in with your shopping list, and you leave, and you're like, wham bam, got it. You're making a mockery of what God is, or what tefillah is. God's like impressed by the way you speak. God, the all-powerful, which some Greek philosophers think He's that all-powerful that He doesn't know that I just picked up this phone. You've turned it into quite the opposite. He cares so much that went in with your shopping list and said nice, and God suddenly changes his mind and gives you everything. A king wouldn't do that here. You're going to say the all-powerful king up there, who is so up there, but involved in this world, because we do believe it, he's just going to change his mind every time you ask nicely. That's what you've lowered God to. You come in with your shopping list, you praise him a little bit, even if you're genuine about the praise, and then he's going to give you everything. You're making a mockery of what tefillah is, says Rav Kook. And now I'm sure he wouldn't have gotten this excited when saying it, but this is what he's saying. You daven for an hour, you really get into it, and then he changes his mind, right? Which isn't true, because Moshe Rabbeinu davened again and again and again for what? To get into the land of Israel, and God didn't change his mind. Why? Because that's not how tefillah works. You want to tell me tefillah is taking a shopping list? Well, Moshe Rabbeinu took that shopping list with one request and nothing changed.
But maybe
Yeah, fair. There are other reasons why not.
But Moshe probably knew that there was a chance that he knew that he wouldn't change. Moshe
Again,
probably had good intentions.
God had his own reasons for not changing them, not giving in to Moshe. Yes. Okay? So, do you have mockery and heresy and darkness and lying and deceit more than this? Says Rav Kook. Very, very extreme. Says Rav Kook. Therefore, is it surprising that the non-religious, wise, enlightened people don't like tefillah? Why don't they like tefillah? The cream of the crop, secular, very wise people. Why do you think it's ridiculous?
Because God knows. I mean, because whatever they believe in is nature. And,
let's say even they okay, maybe they're atheists, maybe they believe in Mother Nature, but the reason, says Rav Kook, and this is a very deep reason why Rav Kook suggests. Rav Kook suggests the reason why the secular reject tefillah, or the wise secular, is because they see tefillah as taking what's tefillah in Judaism. What have they learned? What have been told? Going in with a shopping list and getting what you want. And that says Rav Kook, I can't blame them for making fun of tefillah, because if you leave tefillah down on that level, that tefillah is ridiculous.
Who else are you going to ask?
You don't need to ask. That's what we're saying.
You just meant to accept whatever you have, please.
No, you daven for it. You daven for it, but not because you think you can change God's mind. Because you associate yourself and you change yourself and you make yourself a better person. You want the nation to become a better person.
But I'm sure it's not such a bad thing if you're going through something and then you ask him because you have no one else to talk to.
Yeah, but what's the asking? Is it asking God, please give it to me, or God, I am deserving, I'm a different person now?
Or
it's not change God's mind. That's what I'm saying. God is there, okay? I think I've done this diagram before. I'll try and do it again.
Is Israel?
No.
It's present.
it's a faucet.
Faucet. Okay, it's a tap.
Faucet.
Okay, God is there, waiting to open the tap. The tap's there, everything's ready. He's not changing his mind. By you saying, I'm a different person, that's him saying, okay, you're deserving of it now. You haven't changed his mind. You changed the reality, not his mind. The reality is what God's reality is, wanting to give good, like Danny and I have been learning. He wants to just give good the whole time. How does he give good? Not always if we're undeserving. Sometimes he gives it even if we're undeserving. But the true good gives to us when we are good. That's mishpat. When you're good, you get good. When you're bad, you get bad. There are other things as well. Like Moshe couldn't go into land because Danny said, had he gone into land, they never would have conquered the rest of the land. They always would have wanted to stay next to him. They never conquered the land. And he would and that's also why we don't even know where he's buried, because it would become a place of almost idol worship. Right? Like Lahavdil, unfortunately, where the Rebbe is buried in New York. It's become like an Uman in some ways as well. Again, they were great rabbis. I'm not speaking of anything bad of them. Just it has become a place of Aliyah Rega when you got Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov in Hebron, and people going to Uman and America and New York, wherever he's buried. Manhattan, where's he buried? Okay, the American in the room doesn't know. All right.
Very bold.
כשם שחשכה היא התפילה בין דעת ורגש, כך מאירה ורוממת היא בגילוי הדעת ההרגשה. Once you know what tefillah really is, then you're really going to want to connect it. Tefillah, when you see it as just changing God's mind, is very shallow. When you see it's changing me, and then God bring down the bounty, then that's different. It's like in movies where there's there's a ray of like energy going up to the world or something,
Yeah.
like aliens or whatever. It's not God moving the ray towards you. You're moving towards it. The bounty is always coming down. Tefillah is supposed to move you closer. And again, does it always work? No, even if you get closer, because God may have other things in mind. Maybe your grandfather, who is suffering so much, already at the age of 90, God doesn't want to turn him back into a 30-year-old, and he's maybe now already terminal. So God's going to say, I've heard your prayers. I know you recognize that and you're a different person. You improved yourself, and you understand that suffering of Jews is important. But however, his suffering right now means it's better for him not to be here. I mean, God sometimes knows better than you what really is needed. You're davening right now, I really need that Ferrari. I'm a better person now, and I won't be accepted into my group of friends and socially, and I'm better, and I really will give more money to philanthropy, and I will change myself, and I'm better. God may say, you don't need the Ferrari, and that's not because God doesn't think you move closer to the bounty. That means because he thinks that's not part of that bounty that you should be getting. Okay, so not always. So it makes it easier to understand, because otherwise God is merciless. Otherwise God doesn't care or doesn't know what's happening.
We don't know what's good for us.
Right. We do know in some ways.
Like, how many times have we do something that we think is good for us, and then it ends up like slapping us in the face?
You're right on one side, but you're wrong on the other. How many brachas are there again in the Shema Esrei? 19. Balama Shanim is added. We still call it the Shema Esrei because the Balama Shanim is added. Okay. What? How many praise him at the start? 3. How many praise him at the end?
3. 1. No, what? It's not 3. It's 5.
It's 2. Where? Where?
Oh,
Tov Shimcha L'Chana Adot HaMevarech Tamo Yisrael V'Shalom.
yeah.
Ritzei is
It's not
well, Xena is still requesting. It's still requesting for the Shekhinah to be returned. Okay. It's also praised because you're declaring that the whole process is of creation is God returning Himself to the Shekhinah back to Israel. But okay. So 3 plus 2 is 5. 19 minus 5 is 14. You have 14 brachos in the middle, which the men of the Great Assembly are saying, this is what you need to be asking for. Yeah, you don't know exactly how much parnasa you need. Yes, we did have a discussion in the last year about whether Israel needs to allow everyone to come in or not. Okay? But everyone agrees you need to have enough wealth to get by. That's what you need to be davening for. Okay? You need to be davening for refuah. You need to be davening for chonin, right? For God to give you wisdom in Torah. You need to be davening for tshuva. You need to be davening for Yerushalayim and Mashiach. So you're right. We may not know specifically. I maybe can't daven. God, please allow a million American Jews to make Aliyah tomorrow. And I've improved myself and I'm connected. God may say, it's a nice idea, but 1 million tomorrow, there aren't enough houses for that. Maybe another 10,000 a year. Maybe another 50,000 a year. Yes, mass Russian Aliyah worked, but Americans are used to a different kind of standards, and they may not be able to come as 1 million. Yes, there could be miracles, but God normally works with through nature. Okay, so yes, God gives us some guidelines, or Anshe Kezagdola gave us guidelines what to daven for, but not necessarily in the right amounts. Yes, what for? Not necessarily in the right quantity. Right? We are expected to lift ourselves up from the simple understanding of what tefillah is. By understanding in a shallow way, it's going to destroy us. Not only, right, we talked about this in last year as well. There's Kedusha, there's Tuma, and maybe there's something in the middle. At the start of the year, we talked about Bein Hashmashot, right? Between day and night, there's a grey area. Between sunset and between dusk and sunset. Between sunset and the stars coming out. I'm not sure what that's called in English. I'm not sure if that has a Seta Kochavim. I mean, you have sunrise, sunset, you have dawn, dusk. I don't know if there's a word in English for when the stars come out, Seta Kochavim. So in Halakha we say Ben Hashmashot is between sunset and the stars coming out. Okay? There's Machot Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Yehuda about whether it's measured or not. So Rabbi Yossi holds it's fine like the blink of an eye. And meaning it goes from day to night in a second. And Rabbi Yehuda says no, it's between sunset and sunrise. Rav Kook explains this Gemara to be the connection between it's a deeper Gemara about whether there is a grey area. Is going to the movie universally black, wrong? Or there's some cases where it's grey and you need to decide whether it's right. It's never going to be a mitzvah to go and see a movie, but maybe it's something you need to see to relax yourself. Maybe something which you need. Is going to the beach a mitzvah?
Yes.
Probably not. Is it in it? One second. Is it black? It might be, because it might be Baal Tash, it might be B'tul Torah, but perhaps it's grey. So Rabbi Yossi says there's only good or bad. Says Rabbi Yehuda, there's grey in the area, and you decide the grey where it fits in.
Appreciating God's miracles.
Yeah, that was what we said in the last year as well. Yes, maybe. No, I'm saying again, you may be able to say that, Nathan, but not necessarily. So if you're going for that, then that's the good, but maybe it's grey still. Okay, but the point is here that understanding Tefillah wrong isn't just neutral; it can be it's destructive. Okay, Rav Kook is saying, this is Rav Kook, right? From Rav Kook, we learned that if you misunderstand Tefillah, not only is it not going to give you a great Tefillah, it's going to destroy your Tefillah. Okay, some things is like, if I don't know the 13 principles of faith yet by heart, then okay, it doesn't destroy you. It'd be better. You're not going to get destroyed by not knowing it. The fact that you don't know for sure why Christianity is terrible doesn't prove that it's not going to damage you. That guy called you ignorant. Okay, so you don't know. You believe in full that Judaism is true. You don't know why Christianity is wrong necessarily. You don't have all the proofs. Okay, it doesn't damage you. You have your emunah. Here says Rav Kook, if you don't know why you're davening properly, not only is it neutral, it's destructive. Why? Because you're going to come with claims. If you don't ever get your tefillah answered, he's merciless. He doesn't care. Maybe he doesn't know what's happening. People in the Holocaust, if they went in with, I'm not criticizing people in the Holocaust, but it's more like it's someone who has this outlook of you're davening for getting what you need, and that's it. Is going to go after death as a result of the Holocaust. Why? Because I davened, didn't get what I need. Didn't get what I need. And also, if you believe in the world to come, these challenges aren't so bad as well, because you know in the next world you're going to get more. You don't believe in the world to come? Okay. Pardon? Right. But no, nachon. But if you know there is a reward, then it's going to calm you down. Closest to God. Right?
What does that mean?
Understand God. It's knowledge. Knowledge is power. Okay. Where's that from? Is that a movie? Knowledge is power? It's a quote? Okay. מחשבות שלא רק שאינן מתייחסות לתפילה באופן נכון, אלא יש בהם הרס, they destroy. Understand tefillah incorrectly destroys your tefillah, destroys your morality. התפילה זקוקה לדעת גדולה, כמובן לעבודה עמוקה זו. ודעה זו תהפוך את העבודת תפילה למושא להרצה רוחנית. If you understand that tefillah is central to improving yourself, then learning about tefillah, like we're doing right now, becomes a life's work. Becomes something that you know, without it, you mamash are lost. It comes, learning more brings you to a place where you want to learn even more, to understand, because you want to realize what the real, you want to not realize in Lavim, but to liyasem, to realize the power of tefillah. And how do we do it? It's the last paragraph in this book.
Realize, real eyes, something about that, right? Real eyes, realize, real light.
Yo, that's
Get it?
All right, I got. Havu godel Eloheinu, right? Some of you might say Havu godel in before Shemona, right? You say Hashem Tzvah Tifach. Some people say Ki Shem Ekra Havu godel Eloheinu, right? We want to. What's Havu mean? You must have heard this from Rav Veres, no? Where does the word ahava come from? to give, right? Dogs say have. That's in Ivrit. Have.
More accurate than what?
Yeah, right, okay. So have. Okay, they want give. Ahava is based on giving. When I give to someone else, that increases my love for them because I see them receiving it. We can disagree, that's the ideal. But have, so we say we want to go give greatness to God. Havu, when we start Tefillah, our whole process is Havu Godel Lelokeinu. We want to give greatness to God. We desire to elevate the Tefillah, make it great. Even though we haven't been in Beit Knesset for a long time, we still have our Beit Midrash where we're davening. What is the place of prayer supposed to be for us?
Place of prayer.
Where we daven, okay? Forget about the Beit Midrash. A normal Beit Knesset, what is it for us?
It's a place without distraction.
Place for gathering. Never would it be seen. Community. Most people wouldn't have thought it's a place where I improve myself. It's a place where I go there, daven, get it done, leave. Beit Tefillah now becomes what?
Social club.
No, I don't mean in bad. Now, once we've understood this, Beit Tefillah actually comes to be a place of self-improvement. Just like when you go to like Buddhist temples and you meditate to be a better person, they've got it right in the fact that you're supposed to be leaving their temple or Baruch Hashem, the Beit Knesset with. It is a self-therapy. You're supposed to be improving yourself. Okay, that doesn't mean if you've got psychological issues, davening is going to make you better. But it does mean if you have, it's a spiritual, right? Obviously, it can help you psychologically as well. But if you do have issues, I assume it's probably better to use both. What? I said to him, I'm going to have my first Kesher grandchild, and he was like, "That's a bit weird." It's like, yeah, okay. Makom shemegadlim bo tefillah. That's what the Gemara says. It's a place of greatness. Beit Knesset is called, according to Megillah, Masechet Megillah, Makom shemegadlim bo tefillah. The place where you make tefillah great. We come into the Beit Knesset wanting to have a great tefillah, coming to increase. Comparing it to the tefillah I had this morning, I want this tefillah to be even better. And tefillah is not measured in how much you're shochling. I assume everyone knows what shochling means, yeah? And it's not measured by how long you're davening. The Rebbe Dafka, supposedly, used to say you shouldn't daven too long, and this is completely true. I'm bringing Buddhism in a lot today, but Buddhism talks about in meditation, you're supposed to control the monkey mind. Okay? We have a mind, our mind jumps from one thing to the other. Sometimes I find myself, I just did it now because I'm thinking about monkey, where I just suddenly have an image of a road in Cardiff that I used to walk down. I'm not thinking about anything. I can be speaking to something completely different. I can be in the middle of tefillah, and suddenly my monkey mind jumps to something else. And the idea is to control that. So
if you think of give up, when you have this thought.
Right. Well, the imbalance, the Nefesh Chaim says the best way to keep concentration in tefillah is to imagine the letters, each letter, which is easier if you're just doing siddur. Okay. So, why did I say that? So we want to control our monkey mind as well and turn our tefillah into something. I remember now. Lubavitcher Rebbe said you shouldn't daven too long because what happens if you daven longer?
Then you'll sidetrack.
You get sidetracked. Oh yeah, I'm really getting into it. Okay, but if whilst you're getting into it, you keep forgetting which bracha you're in. Then, and it's hard to.
It's funny when you mix bracha. When you say like beginning of one and then you mix it to like some random thing.
It's very easy to measure seriousness of a person and how long they're davening. But maybe we should think maybe he had more concentration than me.
I went to the shul in Bet Shemesh where it was like Haredi and there was kids like shockling like that. Crazy, and then they look around to see if anyone was looking at them and then they carry on.
ומתנו תשוב עם תחייתה בארצה להוציא אל הפועל את כל גדולתה הלאומי. What is national greatness? Okay, so what I like, you may be sick of it already, but what I like about religious science books is whenever, even if they're writing about Tefillah, they somehow connect it to the land of Israel. We are now coming back to the land of Israel to realize our physical and spiritual purpose. And that means for years and years and years, Tefillah in Chutz La'aretz has been incorrect. We're now coming back to Israel, and now we should re-realize and re-internalize that what? Tefillah isn't a shopping list. when we come back to the land of Israel, we need to improve everything we're doing. That means improving the economy, improving how we care about poor people, improving how we got our army, and it also improving spiritually. And in this small detail, which ends up being a huge one, improving the way we daven. Because we say, Ki mi goy gadol asher lo Elohim krovim alav, ki Hashem Elokeinu b'chol korenu alav. Who is this great nation? What makes us great? In Devarim it says, what makes us great?
So we've chosen.
Also, but the Pasuk here says, because we are, you're basically right, but it doesn't use these words. Ki mi goy gadol. Who is this great nation? Asher lo Elohim krovim alav. Who is this great nation? Who God is close to his nation.
Why did God
We're close to. What's that? He did. Because we are close to him. Anytime we call him, he is close. Realize the Nefesh Chaim also, if I remember correctly, also says one of the ways to imagine it is you walk into the Beit Mikdash. Every time you daven, you're like transported, teleported into the Beit Mikdash, in front of the Kodesh Kodashim. Because that's key. What's the place as close physical place you can get to God in the world? Kodesh Kodashim, right in front of it. God is close to us whenever we open our mouth and call to him. And when is he going to be close to us? When we're calling him properly. Not because we're coming with a shopping list. We're praising him and then showing him that we are different. The Tokev Hara Beit Tefillah Nomi Habayit HaGedolah Asher Nikra Shimcha Alav. We turn our Bati Knesset into these places of worship where we are proving that we are different. We are proving that we have changed, and we are all doing it for the sake of God. And that's that.
Why were we chosen?
So Yosef here is asking.
Before we were enslaved and then gave him the
So Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were chosen because of us. We were chosen. Okay, it's not because Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were righteous. They were righteous, but it says again and again that Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov were chosen because of their descendants. Why? Meaning us. We are chosen because of a godly decree that we need to be the godly people.
It's very strange.
Okay, it's a bit of chicken again.
Why would you need a nation?
Okay, because what's unique about Beit Chabad and what's very wrong about it? About Beit Chabad, what do they do? A Beit Chabad in Nepal, okay, which
spread the word
to Jews, all right? But they're a nucleus family. Well, how does Beit Chabad work? Or a normal one, not these huge ones. A Beit Chabad normally is one couple with their kids. And if it's in a small community, the kids stay there until they need to go to high school. They homeschool and then they go to high school somewhere else. And they do this kiruv, right? It's not for the non-Jews. It's for the Jews. Avram Avinu, I think I gave this shiur at the beginning of the year. Avram Avinu, okay, this is going to need a bit of introduction. The Torah isn't always written in chronological order, right? When Avram is told Lech Lecha, yeah, right, to go to the land of Israel, this is the second time he's been in Israel. Okay, according to the Midrash,
how is it his land?
It will be given to him.
To Al-Tzcha. Why is it?
Because it's your land. Sorry, there's a land from your land, from the land you were in, to Eretz Canaan. Okay, now, when was the first time he was there? He was there first when he was running away from Nimrod. They go west. They go through. I need another map of Israel. They go from the Fertile Crescent. The Muslim area of the Middle East is called the Fertile Crescent because it goes from the Euphrates, fertile, lots of water, and ends up in Syria. If you're there from there, you're in Lebanon and then Israel. Okay? Avram is walking around there, running away from Nimrod, escaped. He goes south, goes to Lebanon, Syria, and sees everyone enjoying life, farming and having a great life. He says, I don't want to come here because it's too easy and people are lazy here. They don't have to work hard. And he gets to Israel and he says, Halavaya Halavai, I'll inherit this land. And God says, got it. He then is there for a few years. Lot is kidnapped because Lot looked like Avram. And the local kings were fed up with him converting everyone to monotheism. And he is kidnapped, Lot. Avram goes to war against the 4 kings who previously conquered the 5 kings. He wins the war. He then is crowned king, Avram. and goes back to where Nimrod's from, because Nimrod was one of the 4 kings he captured. He becomes a king of monotheists, but not a king of a nation, not a king of his own descendants.
So king of
And then he's told Lechacha. Why is he then told Lechacha? Because Judaism isn't about being a light unto the nation by being an individual. Yes, it might be in the time when in Galut that you need to set an example, but the true, and this is not just science, and this is almost universally agreed in Judaism, the ultimate way we are going to affect the world is in the land of Israel, having a nation, setting an example, bringing a nation. An individual can be very successful, and Adam Rishon was. When he made Aliyah with Lechacha, he brought thousands of monotheists, but they disappeared. Where were all these monotheists? Abraham Avinu. Abraham Avinu came. Lechacha brought thousands, and they're called Beit Yaakov. Brought thousands, and it says even that.
That's where we come from.
We come from Abraham's descendants. We come from Yitzchak. Yitzchak had Yaakov. Yaakov had the descendants of those monotheists disappear into time. There are no other monotheists. Judaism was the first monotheistic religion. Then comes along Christianity and Islam. They aren't descendants of those. Why? Because there is some suggestions. This is a very cool idea that when you look in the lists of the cities which Yeshua conquered, there are 2 big cities which are omitted. One is Shechem, and one is Beersheba. And one of the rabbis when I was in university, Rav Mali, who is the Rosh Yeshiva in Yeshivat Yafo, has Yeshiva Yafo, which is a very cool yeshiva. It's turning Yafo back into being a Jewish city, because it's one of the few big cities in the center which is still very Arab. And he said, why are Shechem and Beersheba not in the list? Because who's there, right? Yaakov goes down to Mitzrayim once Yosef is found, and then they're enslaved for 210 years, and then 40 years in the desert. Where are the people that Avram converted in Yaakov and Yitzchak? They didn't go down with them because the decree wasn't on them. Where are they? They're in Beersheba and Shechem waiting. And that's why, when you cross the sea, I'll show on this map.
That's where that split Palestinian Jews.
Quite possibly. They very much might be. Although probably not. So Shechem is here, right? They cross over the sea, the Jordan, fight Jericho. And then they do this huge ma'amad where they go through the whole Torah again. And Moshe already told Yeshua that that's what's going to have to be. How can they stand right next to Shechem and do this? On the residents of Shechem. Shechem was destroyed by Yaakov and his sons after Dinah was raped, right? And Beersheba was established by Avram. And that's why they're doing Shechem. It's very interesting. Why they basically do a second Matan Torah, a second giving the Torah. Why? Because these monotheists want to rejoin Am Yisrael, which they never were part of, and they never got the Torah. So we're doing a second Ma'amad Har Sinai. 38 years after the first one, there's a second giving the Torah. I'm not sure if it was straight away after the conquering, but going to Israel was 38 years after Ma'amad Har Sinai. They're re-giving the Torah. So we may be descendants of those converts. We might be. The vast majority of Am Yisrael are direct descendants of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And they were chosen because we were going to be unique. Why were we going to be unique? It's chicken and the egg, because God said we're going to be unique. We were given a gift to be those people. Is it fair? And other nations could say no, but they were offered it and rejected. We were the only nation who said Na'aseh Nishma. And we've had ups and downs, but what we like, we've been learning it as well. The redemption is certain. It's going to happen. It's just a question of time. So all the messing up we've done is only temporary. And we're going to prove that we are deserving of it eventually. Cesar, Nathan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.